welcome to The Training Room, the podcast all about training up athletes, parents, and coaches to win it right on the journey through youth sports. I'm your host, Cody Massey. Just a little insight on me in our pilot episode here. I guess it's not really our pilot episode. We filmed these, it was back before COVID. I think our last episode was the February that COVID started. So it has been a minute since we've gotten rolling on this podcast. So excited to fire back up, bring on special guests, train up athletes, parents, and coaches in the right way, the win it right mentality through youth sports. So a little bit about me. I'm the elite baseball director here at Extreme Baseball and Softball Club. I'm entering my 6th year here and just super excited to, get on this journey with you guys and bring on special guests and walk through this together. So this podcast will be about all sorts of training athletes through various player development topics, training parents on how to walk their athletes through youth sports the right way, training coaches on effective coaching methodologies, etc. Methodologies? Yeah, that's right. We'll just roll with that. The first episode, this one, we're going to walk through what has been going on inside our club over the last year. We've just had a lot of expansion opportunities, just a lot of growth we want to fill you guys in on and make sure that you're just up to speed on what we have going on with us. We're also going to sit down with our first special guest, Mason Hale. Mason is a 16U Midwest coach in our club and operates out of our Springfield facility. So he's going to fill us in on some Springfield things. And then we are going to dive into our first development topic this year, which is just ballpark etiquette for parents. So just the right way for parents to go about being at the ballpark. So yeah, excited to get on this journey with you all. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so our first segment today is all about just what is happening in Extreme BSC. So we have a laundry list of expansion and growth that has happened over the past really like 12 months, 12 to 15 months. And so just gonna kind of run through those and talk through those as we hit bullet points. But first, our gym expansion with Train Performance. So if you've been in our facility here at the Annex here in Collinsville, our gym has moved down a few units in our building and it has expanded into a massive space for our athletes to get work done. That's also allowed another expansion and growth project for us, which is the addition of our live cage. So our live cage is actually in the current spot where our gym used to be. So if you haven't been in here in a while, make sure you come in and check out the new gym space, check out the new live cage that's going on in here. Just some more things. On-base U assessments for our national teams. This past year, we were able to assess our athletes through On-Base U. If you don't know what that is, check it out. I'll put it in the show notes, a link to On-Base U website. But basically, it's a physical therapy. It's a full body assessment for functional movement and just capacities on baseball athletes specifically. And what they do through that is our physical therapist on site, which is another growth thing. We have Tim Zickett's on site with us here now. Peak Sport and Spine is in the building. If you ever come in here and need some PT stuff, hit up Tim. Tim has a spot over by the bullpen area. Make sure you come say hi to him and meet him. And if you have any physical therapy needs, that's your guy. But Tim, he took our guys through on-base U assessments this past year with our national teams, seeing their movement capacities and seeing how we can help them to their full potential on player development and see what their body truly needs to do what it needs to do in the box and on the mound and move the right way. So that's been a really cool thing for us this year to see the data behind that and see how we're training if it aligns with the data that he pulled out of those assessments. So with that too, we've had the live kit expansion, but we've also had a softball bullpen expansion in here. So now our softball athletes are able to hop into their own space. Jess has been doing an awesome job with the softball pitchers here, using data and technology in that space too with Rapsodo and video analysis. That's as soon as you walk in the front door here at the NX. Super cool spot for softball athletes. Obviously, the two big ones are just the location expansions. We're now in Chicago, we're in Springfield. The Springfield facility is awesome. We're gonna meet with Mason here in a little bit and just kind of talk through that. But what Kyle is doing there and the staff up in Chicago is pretty awesome. And we're excited to see that take off here even more this next year. Under Armour partnership, represent. We got the Under Armour partnership this year too. Our teams look very crispy, as our media guy would say, Austin Heel. That's another expansion. Austin's behind the camera here, but Austin's joined us this past year. Love having him. he's got this cool stuff all the time and making us look crispy, as he would say. So Under Armour partnership's been great. Our teams look great. Our coaches look great. Shout out to Under Armour for making us look like a bunch of ballers every time we step out on the field. So with that too, man, we've had a big graduating class in baseball and softball this year. So 25 college commits between baseball and softball. It'll actually be north of that with a couple more still on the board that are yet to still make their decision on where they're going to go play. But just a class that is just loaded with talent, loaded with good people, good families. They have the win it right mentality, and we're excited to watch them go compete at the next level. And with the college thought, we had our first inaugural college baseball summer team this past year. That was coached by Chris Fair and Chaz Verduzco this past summer. They did a great job just working with our alumni that need a place to play over the summertime. So they would come in and get their training in our facility. They would go out and play in the St. Louis Metro Collegiate League to get their summer reps and before heading back to their schools and getting their college seasons in. So we're excited to have that in year 2 this year. We have a new head coach of that team. That's Hunter Hiskey. I'm excited with the squad that he's building and how they're going to take off into this next summer. So yeah, just a lot of expansion and growth over 2022, 2023. Wanted to make sure you guys were all just up to speed with what's going on with our club, and we're excited about just a lot of things that are about to happen here over these next few months too. So, all right, hey, second segment of today's episode, we're just talking all things Springfield. So our Springfield facility, we have our Springfield facility director with us. That's Mason Hale sitting right beside me. We weren't able to get Kyle on today's podcast. Kyle is our Springfield director. Just done a phenomenal job on getting Springfield off and running and off the ground. And just super excited with what he's got going on. So, yeah, Mason.
How's it going?
What's up, buddy? Welcome to the Training Room Podcast. What's give me just kind of your background. Who's Mason Hale as he sits here today? This strapping young 20, I don't know. He's a younger guy than me. But Mason, as you sit here today, just give me your kind of background, baseball. Where have you been over the last just 5 years?
So for me, I born and raised in Springfield. Went to McMurray College in Jacksonville, Illinois, at D3. When I graduated from there, I had 2 years of eligibility left. That's when COVID happened. So I ended up at McKendree here down in Lebanon and played there for 2 years, got my master's done. That's kind of when conversations with me and Cody started happening with Kyle. Then I was coaching at McKendree University as well this past fall. And then in January, I became full-time with 226.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like now that you're with Extreme EBSC, so currently you're our 16U Midwest coach. So you coach a team that is really based out of this facility down here. So you're working up there, coaching a team down here. You're a network trainer up in Springfield. Okay, you're working with you work with catchers, pitchers, hitters,
whatever.
Defense. Yeah. Just kind of does a little bit of everything up there as far as training's concerned. And then just kind of, yeah, I mean, you're all in. I mean, as of the past few months. So with that, like, just kind of let's do the roundabout story of just how did we meet? Like, so we're probably just over a year away from even like meeting each other. And then as we sit here today, it's like, hey, like we're coworkers. Like we get at it every day now, just trying to win it right with our club. Like, let's try to walk through the story of just how we met.
Well, it's crazy to think a year ago what all had happened. That was when you guys first brought Springfield to Kyle. Kyle brought me in on Springfield Talks. I believe we started having Zoom meetings, right? Had Zoom meetings. I was playing college baseball. I'd go to practice. I'd come home. I'd hop on Zoom with Kyle, Casey, and Cody, and we'd have Zoom meetings. Well, then finally one night you guys were like, "You're 20 minutes away. Why don't you come over and have lunch with us tomorrow?" So sat down with Cody and Casey in the team room for about an hour and a half, I think, one day, and a year later, I'm full-time with 226. So that was kind of, we would have Zoom meetings, kind of discuss what Springfield market needed, what we thought Springfield market was capable of. Probably don't think we would have thought it would got to this right now within a year. But year 2's coming, and I'm excited for year 2 at this point as well. So.
Yeah, I think just what we've seen up there just over the past year, one, the talent level that's just in Springfield with baseball and softball is just, I mean, it's something else. Like, those kids know how to play ball, and it's one of those areas of our great state of Illinois that just doesn't get much love just when it comes to just training, development, recruitment, just a lot of talent that comes out of that area. So just excited to be up there and excited to have, Kyle take the charge on that and you be a part of that as well. And so with that too, like you're coming out of coaching at McKendree University. You've been with us now for coming up on a year. Like what has been the big, like what has helped you being in the college game, being a college player, being a college coach into what you're doing today with our athletes?
I think for me, the biggest thing, I played college baseball for a lot longer than most people, getting my master's done. I was the old man on our team last year, and then coaching, it's still a kid's game, was the biggest thing for me when I was still playing, when I was coaching the college level. Still a bunch of kids just trying to have fun and going out there and competing with each other. And so that's what I've pretty much taken into the youth game as well. Is it's a kid's game. These kids are just competing every day. And we just want to make them the best humans they can, and best kids we can, and ultimately that's going to make them the best baseball players as we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, before we let you go, just wanted to introduce you today. That's awesome. We're glad to have you on. Before we let you go, I do have a pretty serious question for you. If you could eat one thing the rest of your life, what would it be?
I think for me, I'm going to go with the Qdoba Bowl.
Qdoba Bowl?
Yeah, I'm going with the Qdoba Bowl. Probably not going to have it for breakfast. I think I'm probably going to...
So you just wouldn't eat breakfast the rest of your life?
Yeah, I think I'm going 75 hard fasting. I'm going to eat about 11, 12 o'clock every day. But, there's just so many things I have in that bowl that I feel like I could eat it all the time.
Yeah, it's semi-healthy.
It doesn't get old.
Yeah.
It
doesn't make you
chips.
bloated, but it fills you up.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's a good choice. I like that. So, we're going to break here. Before we break, let's call one random coach in our club.
Who's next?
Let's just go Casey Fair. See if
Casey Fair.
See if Casey Fair answers this morning. It's 10:07 on a Friday when we're filming this. We'll see if Casey's up and at 'em.
What's up?
Casey Fair, this is Cody Massey on the Training Room Podcast. How's it going this morning, buddy?
Get out of here.
Hey, so we have our random question of the day, calling an extreme coach. Your question this morning, I know your brain is firing on all cylinders already, Casey. The question is, if you could eat one thing the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh. One thing the rest of my life. One thing the rest of my life. I mean, it's kind of generic, but I gotta go pizza, I feel like.
Pizza?
Pizza's so good.
All right, is there a rule where you have to have the same kind of pizza the whole time, or can you mix it up? Like, can you go pineapple one day, pepperoni the next?
I would like to mix it up. I would never go pineapple. That does not belong on pizza. Yeah, I would have to go pizza, or my second option would be like chicken wings.
All right.
And I'd mix up the flavors there.
Yeah. Well, I think you're cheating because pizza and wings, you can change the flavors. It's not as bland. But that's a great thought because, hey, you are firing on all cylinders. You came up with a cheat code because pizza can bounce around. So, all right, man. Well, go enjoy the rest of your day. Casey, what's on Casey Fair's plate on this Friday?
Well, I got meet at SWIC at 11:20 for a team meeting. Bus leaves at 11:45, and then we're off to Kaskaskia for a 9-inning game.
There you go. Well, good luck today. Go get yourself a slice of pizza after the victory.
I will do.
All right. See you, buddy.
See ya.
All right. So, Mason, thanks for coming on, dude.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely have you on again, and yeah, make sure you tune in to all these Training Room episodes as we work to win it right. All right, so for our last segment today, we're going to talk about ballpark etiquette for parents. And I know, when I say that title, a lot of coaches kind of tune in a little bit, just based on kind of some of the things they see on the ball field when it comes to parents. But we're just going to talk about, what is the parent's role at the ballpark? And if you look at our extreme handbook, straight out of page 6, we just spell out the role of a parent in our club. So I'm going to go ahead and just read that, and that is the section called The Extreme Way. The extreme way is how parents, coaches, and athletes approach all aspects of the game, both on and off the field. The extreme way is a set-apart way of doing it the right way. After all, we live by the theme, win it right. So just the phrase that sets out to me is, what does set apart mean? I'm a Christian, I'm a follower of Christ. Set apart in the Bible is actually the word holy. So the holy means to be set apart. So it just means not the norm, set apart, different than the world standards. So the world standard when it comes to youth sports can be quite gruesome, as we know, and a place for parents to live vicariously through their kids. And so we have some bullet points listed underneath that section of just kind of the extreme way of parents. And the extreme way is lived out in our families through these things. Trusting our coaches by not coaching from the stands during games or practice. I heard a story a couple weeks ago of a parent actually getting kicked out of a game for yelling at his own kid. And it's just like, man, trust your coaches there, right? Like, instead of coaching your kids from the stands, trust the process of having your kid in a program that is going to be coached up. And if you see something that's your kid might need to work on, trust that your coach is going to address that on his own. Second one, have a positive car ride and at-home conversations, right? Like, the game is hard already, right? As an athlete that went 0 for 4, I know I went 0 for 4. I don't need to hear that from my dad when I get in the car after the game too. So just be a loving parent, use that car ride as an opportunity to build a relationship with your child. No negativity toward other players, coaches, teams, or umpires. Okay, a lot of parents, they like to be that umpire from the stands. They like to point fingers at athletes. That just doesn't fly. That's not winning it right. So cheer for all players on the team. Wear extreme gear. Okay, that's the thing. Like, especially at the older levels and the levels of the elite program. When a college coach gets to the ballpark, they should never know who your kid is. Okay, and a way that they can know who your kid is, hey, every time Johnny steps up to the plate and Johnny's your son, you only cheer for Johnny. So that coach immediately knows, hey, there's Johnny's mom, because every time Johnny comes up, she goes bonkers when Johnny's up. It's okay to go bonkers when Johnny's up. Just go bonkers when everybody's up. Cheer on every single kid on that team. Set an example for your team that, like, hey, these are all kids striving to be great out there. I'm going to cheer them all on. View the game beyond stats and game changer. Process over outcome. That's something I tell our hitters all the time. Like, hey, you come in here and I ask them, hey, how'd your week go? How did you swing it this week? Oh, I was 4 for 4. I was 0 for 4. I was 4 for 4. I was 0 for 4. It's like you can hear the tone in their voice based on the outcome, where the kid that was 0 for 4 might have hit 4 balls harder than the kid that was 4 for 4. The kid that was 4 for 4 might have had just 4 bleeder singles that hit off the end of the bat, had crazy spin. The shortstop and third baseman collided and he got a hit out of it. And the kid that was 0 for 4 might have got robbed of 4 home runs. But because of the outcome of those things, it plays into their emotions, it plays into their mentality, their confidence on how they get into the field. And so they wear that on their sleeve. So view the game beyond stats, view the game beyond the game changer, understand the process over the outcome on player development and what we're trying to do. So next one, be an advocate for the program. Okay, like, yeah, we want our teams to win. We want to celebrate successes of other people. But when we celebrate successes, you have to do that from a heart of I thoroughly am excited about their success. Not jealousy, right? When a college kid commits, let's celebrate that kid's commit. Let's not sit back and say, oh, well, why am I not committed yet? Let's really be an advocate for the program, be an advocate for what these kids are doing. Next one, just honor the 24-hour and the 15-minute rule. So the 24-hour rule is, hey, if there's an issue that goes on the field or off the field, as adults, as players, let's approach that 24 hours later. Take the emotions out of play, have a civil conversation about the thing that maybe there's a disagreement on. And a lot of times, after taking a whole 24 hours to think about it, it's really not that big a deal on either side, whether that's a coach's side, a parent side, a player side. Just take time to really let your heart think about what just happened and take some time to breathe and go over that. The 15-minute rule, that's hey, if we have somewhere to be there 15 minutes early. Be there early so you're able to get a present mind before you go about that activity, whether it's practice, games, a team event. The 15-minute rule is big just because, hey, time is valuable, right? When coaches are showing up, when parents are showing up, players are showing up, let's all try to value each other's time by living by that 15-minute rule. And then the last one, enjoy the process. Okay, there's a lot of things with youth sports that can just be scary, whether it's the wins and losses, whether it's player development, whether it's I feel like my kid's behind because X, Y, Z, but this kid's committed, my kid's not yet. Just enjoy the process of, hey, these kids are playing a game. We get to watch them go out every day and do what they love. Let's enjoy that, even though there are some things through there and goals that could seem scary at times. So with all that, the extreme way lived out through our families, through our parents, through those bullet points, because again, there's a lot of gruesomeness when it comes to youth sports, but ballpark etiquette can really help provide an avenue that gets you through that muddiness at times and enjoys just the right way to win it right. So, all right, so let's wrap up today's episode. We've had a great year navigating growth within our club. We talked about that, and that growth is fostered by our athletes, coaches, and parents winning it right. And we're excited to use this podcast as an opportunity to train up those athletes, parents, and coaches to continue to do so, to talk through player development topics, talk through recruiting, talk through just all things that you might have questions about as you navigate the youth sports experience. So tune in next episode as we dive into navigating college recruiting and what that looks like for your family, starting out at a young age to even our senior families right now, or even our families that are in college and they have some questions about what's going on, what's going to happen through that experience as well. So tune in next week. We're going to talk about all those things. Thank you for tuning in. And make sure you like us, share us, whatever outlet we have this on. Just spread the word on the Training Room Podcast.